Hello, Basil friends, family, and all you out there on YouTube. Mr. Reporter here to talk to you about some ways that you can better engage in your students' education and help them to be more successful learners. In today's video, we're going to be talking about behavior and a specific thing called what we call the escalation and de-escalation curve, or the behavior curve, or as this one says, the phases of acting out and different behaviors. But this is just something that we talk to teachers about here at school. But really, guys, it doesn't just apply to teachers and students and all that stuff. This is just kids in general. And to be honest with you, it's kind of about all of us. We all have this inside of us, and no matter how calm somebody is, we all have these things that kind of get us upset. So this is how that kind of works. And this is what we work on kids with as far as helping them to cope with different things. So let's get into this first. So as you can see here, all right, as we go up the curve, we kind of talk about the intensity of the behavior, and then this is kind of more like the timeline as far as how long it lasts. But when we're just going along life and everything is fine, we're calm and everything is good to go. Then there is a trigger of some kind. Now, this trigger is different for everybody. It may be, if you are very frustrated with math or something like that, or English, or just school in general, and you don't get a problem right, and then it triggers something, and you begin to get upset about that. Or, like I said, we'll get out of school stuff. Maybe somebody says something about you, somebody looks at you funny, somebody does something that you don't like or the student doesn't like. All right, that's called the trigger. And it's at that moment when we begin to get out of calm, and then things are either going to go like this, or we're going to learn to cope with it. But then once that happens, if we don't cope with that, we begin to get a little bit more agitated. You get one problem wrong, well then guess what? You get a little bit upset, you didn't calm yourself down, now you're getting two problems wrong to the point where it's like, forget it, I just don't know about it. And the teacher's going, why didn't you do your work? What's going on? Or whatever it may be. All right, maybe you're a parent working with your kid at home on their homework, and they tell you, like, I'm done, I don't want to do this, and they throw the paper to the side. That's the trigger. And then you say, you're going to do your homework because you need to do your homework. And they go, I'm not going to do it. Well, you begin to get agitated. Now, if things continue, okay, we have what we call the acceleration period, which then goes into the peak period. The peak period is what we really try to avoid, and we don't want to get there. All right. In any setting, whatever it may be, avoiding the peak is the best thing, because at the peak period, when we are at the peak of our anger or being upset, and what happens is our emotions completely hijack our brain and everything that we do. Logic is out the window, and we're going to do things, and we're going to say things that we don't mean and that we shouldn't say or we shouldn't do. Now, if you be honest, and I'm honest, we've all been there at some point in time. We've all got to the point where we're so upset about something that we do or say something that we later regret. Sometimes we don't remember it because the emotions take such control over us and what we do that we just kind of, the things come out, and it's not good. All right. And then once those things are going on, all right, if we're somebody approaching somebody that's in that peak moment of their behavior, our number one priority is kind of getting them relaxed and getting back to chill and kind of getting to this de-escalation stage and then into the recovery stage. Now, it's really easy when we're here in this peak area to really I got to tell them, I got to get them calmed down, I've got to tell them what they're doing wrong, and guys, that's not the way to handle things. What we want to do is we want them to kind of begin to de-escalate, calm down for a few minutes, take a few deep breaths, and then in this recovery we can go, okay, so what happened? Why did we get to that way? What is it that we did that we can do better? All right? So that's kind of the whole process from beginning to end. Like I said, you can apply that to just about anything from schoolwork to being in the grocery store and somebody taking the last box of cereal and you just had to have that box of cereal, or sitting down with your kids and doing their homework and they just don't understand it and you don't understand it, and I haven't done this since I was in school, and there you go. All right? Now, here's what we teach kids, and we talk to kids about that, have kind of experienced this, or that we talk to about, and it works for everybody. I use this on me all the time. Now, when I'm going along calm and there's a trigger or something happens, okay, I have become aware enough, and we talk to kids about knowing when that trigger happens. When they get that first little feeling in them that I'm upset, I don't like what just happened, or whatever it may be, whatever the trigger is, that is the moment that you have to take control of the situation. If you let it go from the trigger to the agitation, all right, and then even into acceleration just like that, it may be too late. We tell kids, if you get upset at another kid, walk away. If somebody's saying something to you, take a walk. Come see me. I tell them all the time, my door's open. You can come in and you can tell me, oh, that little Tommy just called me a blah, 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 blah. And like, get it out. Okay. So you don't actually get to that peak of behavior with that person, but you come in and have a chance to kind of talk it out, weigh it out, and get over it. If you're a parent and you're working with your kid and they're frustrated on their homework and you don't know how to help them on the homework, take a break, okay? When that trigger hits and something's like, oh gosh, it's not going good, it's not going well, man, step back, punt, let's find something that works. Let's do something a little bit different. That's when it's good to go through and look and say, okay, what do we do? That way you don't get upset, because if things don't get stopped there, then you're mad and they're mad, and somewhere in the middle of it, the schoolwork is like out the window. So just take a break, chill out, figure this out, and it will all be good. Okay, if you're out in public and somebody does steal that last box of cereal, that's a horrible example, I know, but if you've ever been Black Friday shopping, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But somebody takes something that you need, or they say something to you, or something, a boss gets underneath your skin and says something to you, this work's not good enough, and they throw it back at you. You just got to take that breath, okay? The trigger, it was there, but what we do with it from there is what really makes a difference, okay? So take a deep breath, stay calm, and let's get past the agitation, acceleration, and peak, and move straight on the recovery, okay?